Hello, welcome to the sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Chicago. I'm Nick Miller alongside James Newman. How you doing, sir?
Good, how about you?
Pretty good. The people have demanded a deck tech.
All right.
So we had you on camera a few rounds ago.
Yeah.
We have the Turbo Fog variant here. Looks great. Everyone wants to know, how'd you come up with this idea?
I saw a deck online that was similar to this, and I was like, it looks kind of fun. I like playing decks like this, so I was like, I'm gonna try to build it, see if I can tweak it a little bit to my liking, and then just make it to my own and try to play it like that and see if it works. And then it's doing pretty well.
A pretty heavily Magic Origins influenced deck. The main win con being, of course, Sphinx's Tutelage, a card our own Tom Ross has been championing in a lot of Versus videos and articles. Seems to be doing a lot of work for you.
It's a pretty fast mill win condition, especially since most decks have cards that share a lot of color types or multiple colors that share a different type, so it's easy to mill an Abzan deck or something like that of that sort.
Right, a lot of Siege Rhinos matching up with Dim Protectors, or in the green-red decks, their Xenagoses are still matching their Atarkas and stuff.
Yep, I like it.
So of course you get to mill them when you draw a card, and you're in the business of drawing a lot of cards.
Yes.
You've got Monastery Siege, an enchantment that's seen some fringe play in a lot of different decks.
Yes.
But here it just really shines along with the Dictate of Krufix promo version. Get yours now. Now we've seen other of the dictates. We've seen people use the red and the black ones to pretty good effect. Looks great here.
Yes, this is very good. It's pretty much an extra card per turn, and if I have a fog, it's like I'm pretty much drawing extra cards and pretty much going with my game plan to mill them out because they're drawing extra cards along with me.
Right. Not to mention, when you have Monastery Siege going, you're drawing extra cards, but you're discarding cards, which makes Treasure Cruise very good in this deck. Combine that with the Sphinx's Tutelage.
Yeah, it can be a lot of cards milled in one turn pretty easily.
So you've got the two fogs here, basically, Defend the Hearth and the Winds of Calcisma. Did you look into any more options? There's other ones in different colors.
I did. I looked at the 3-mana one from the new set, but I felt that if somebody played a creature that was above 4 power, I didn't just want to die to not being able to fog that damage away. So I just went with those two. And
Has 8 copies been enough?
Yes.
Okay. Because we saw you on camera, you had to use another new card here, Days Undoing, the new Time Twister, just really doing work in terms of finding you more of these.
Yep. Yeah, I really just use that as a way to shuffle my graveyard and draw a new hand and hopefully hit a fog to just keep going on with the Sphinx's Tutelage, just fog them, untap, and then have a full grip of cards that I can use to implement that plan to beat them.
Right, it's an interesting angle the deck has because, Cedric even mentioned, times that these decks do well, they'll lose a turn before they're going to win or something like that. And while it seems counterintuitive to put your milled cards back into the deck, sometimes you just need that refueling.
Refuel to make sure you can have a chance to win a game, pretty much.
Right. If you can't win the game, what are you doing? So, all right, we have Aether Spouts, which is just a huge blowout in this deck because they have to attack every turn.
Yep. And if they don't, then I just sit there and just take the 2 damage or 3 damage they attack me per turn.
Right, an interesting thing I've seen people play against you, send in only 1 or 2 creatures, trying to dodge that while chip, and you just kind of wait and then blow them out.
Yep. Yeah, I like that card a lot.
Negate is in the main deck.
Yes.
What all do you need this for?
Ugin.
All right.
That's pretty much why I put it there, just so I can counter Ugin. And that's because that card can get rid of all my enchantments. So
right. You don't really have any ways to pressure it once it's in play.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much there only to counter that card.
Okay. You've got 2 of this new one.
Yes.
Orbs of Warding.
Yep.
Saw it discarded on stream, and everyone's like, "What was that card? What was that card?" This basically gives you hexproof.
Yeah, it prevents 1 damage if I would take more than 1 damage. It's really good against mono red decks because they play a lot of token makers. And then once I play that, they're doing practically 0 damage, and their burn spells are irrelevant at that point.
Sure. An interesting thing, I assume there's some synergies here. You can resolve this, then get a Days Undoing, and then your grip is basically protected.
Protected. They can't Thoughtseize me or anything of that nature.
Okay. This one too. Everyone said this was going to be the Commander All-Star.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this first word. Something Archive. I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm not even going to attempt to. I would just butcher it. So, this card here gains you life.
Yes.
More cards.
It draws more cards, pretty much. Very good with these cards right here because it draws me an extra card, and very good with the land that's sitting next to it because it gains me double life.
Radiant Fountain, a huge swing.
Yep.
We see decks of all sorts kind of trying to play Radiant Fountain.
Yeah.
This is a great deck as well because it allows you to just get out of range.
Yep, of being killed or by burn damage, if that, and it's pretty good. It's kept me alive a couple times today, so I give it a thumbs up.
All right, so we've seen Treasure Cruise do the most work with Sphinx's tutelage. Have you been to the point yet where you're just grinding them out 6 mana at a time?
No, I don't think I've cast one for more than like 3 or 4 mana.
Wow. Yeah. All right, and what's your best mill count on this today?
I milled, I think, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8 cards off one trigger.
Not bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the sideboard where you have even more new cards. Talon of the Telepath here.
Yeah.
This one is interesting.
Yes.
Now, I'm concerned, you mentioned this is really good against the Abzan decks and the red decks alike.
Yeah. It's not so good against red, but like Abzan, I think I made the matchup a lot better. I play tested against a few friends and was not doing so well, so I put a little extra cards in there to help that matchup out. Red is, I'm really just trying to fog until I get to one of the orbs, and hopefully I can swing that in my advantage and win that way.
Sure. So you can use that as a way to kind of take their removal spells against them,
themselves,
or someone's thought seizes against them.
Yeah. Just use it as a literally removal spell, like a 2-for-1.
Sure.
As you can say. Yeah.
Okay. I saw Icefall Regent doing some work against your mono red opponent last round. Seems tough to beat.
Yes. I like the Icefall Regents because they can tap down threats that I can't deal with once they're in play. Like say a Siege Rhino, I can tap that down because Abzan doesn't have really that many threats that I care about. So if I tap that down, they can't deal as much damage, and I have more time to draw enough cards to eventually just get there with it.
All right. A lot of your chunk of your sideboard is here. Looks to be up here fighting Ugin along with your negates. You've got some Disdainful Strokes, a bunch of cards, Dissolve, trying to keep that guy off the board.
Yep, pretty much.
Now you have one of your own.
I have my own Ugin.
Where's he coming in?
Against decks that just overload the board, I can use him as just a cleanup to so say I'm playing against like an Abzan deck. I would put him against that too because they play a bunch of their stuff out, like a bunch of planeswalkers and stuff. He just cleans up the board, and they have a pretty hard time dealing with them if they don't have a downfall, which I would assume they would take out against me.
Sure.
So,
not a lot of targets running around in this deck. All right, you got another Aether Spouts for keeping the blowouts out.
Yep.
Clash of Wills here, another counter spell.
Yeah, just pretty much go into like a more controlling deck after game 1.
All right. Grind Clock, that's a good one. We saw, I think, like Andrew Cuneo and Adrian Sullivan trying to work this into their control builds.
Yep. That's strictly just there for control.
Yep. All right. So you're X1 after 7 rounds.
Yep.
Doing pretty good. What's your loss against?
Naya Dragon's Ramp. Naya Dragon Ramp.
All right. Just run out of fogs, or
he just Dramoka. Yeah.
Well, we've seen you beat up the pillars of the archetype so far. You've beat up, the green-red devotion deck. I've seen you beat red, so seems to be pretty well positioned. Are there any changes or anything you'd think about moving forward with the deck?
One of my friends told me about Master Waves. I can see putting that in the deck right there because it's good against like mono red and stuff like that. It just gives me like a more, aggro plan against them, so I can kill them faster.
All right. Well, James, thanks for joining me here on the sideboard.
Hey, no
the people love the deck. They wanted to see a deck tech. Had to deliver on that. Magic Origin looks great in this. Yeah. Thanks again. Good luck in the rest of your rounds.
Man. Yep. Thank you.
Stay tuned to StarCityGames.com all weekend long for the action here in Chicago.